Hello fellow YouTubers, welcome to this video. This is Don Alex of the Dons of Gaming, and with Breath of the Wild just recently coming out, personally, I was bad-mouthing this game to high hell before it came out. So I figured what I would do for you guys is discuss the most important question anybody should have. For one, the game is good. I'm just going to come right out and say it because that question needn't really be asked. It's very good. It's addicting in a way that a Legend of Zelda game hasn't been in a while, maybe since Twilight Princess. At least that's my opinion. But the question that I think everybody wants answered is, and it's going to be in the title, is Breath of the Wild the best Legend of Zelda game? And my answer is yes. Now, there's a caveat to this, because I still think Ocarina of Time is better. It's one of those things where you can't really compare them. And here's my argument for this, okay? Ocarina of Time, basically all the Legend of Zelda games from Link to the Past to Skyward Sword are a completely different genre. They are. The original Legend of Zelda, Zelda 2, and Breath of the Wild, they're a different genre on their own. So, when I say it's the best Legend of Zelda game, I mean in the vein of the actual concept of the series, the one that it started with, yes. And it's not even close. Legend of Zelda, the original, God, I'm sure it was good at its time, but it does not hold up well at all. Zelda 2, I didn't play it. I knew it was going to be hell, decided against playing it. I made the smart choice. Way better than those two. And honestly, it's not even close. Now, if you're confused about what I mean when I say they're a different genre, basically, Link to the Past, they kind of went away from the more open world, just explore, to a genre where it's more of like it's a mediocre puzzle, and then kind of mediocre fighting mixed in. I guess mediocre isn't the word for the puzzles. The series focused more on puzzles than on combat. The original games, like, it was just do your thing, and because of that and basically time, hasn't really stood up that well. Yeah, I guess American audiences aren't smart enough to figure out games like that. But with Breath of the Wild, it goes back to that, and it pulls it off so well. I say this, there are flaws in the game. I do think the game is way too stupidly hard. The actual concept of go any way you want isn't really true. It sort of is, but it's sort of not. And what I mean by that is, okay, so 4 people in my house have played it. The 3 people in my house, but a guest played it at our house. And 3 of them just went straight down to Kakariko Village, which is what you're supposed to do. And I was like, fuck that. Me being the gamer I am, and the cynic I was, saying that this game wasn't going to be good, I went to the desert. I was like, I'm not going down the main path, because if the game is really open world, I should be able to. I should be able to go any direction I want, and just go off and do my thing. And for the most part, that's true, but the difficulty has not been adjusted. So it's like you go down this different path, and you just get fucked over and over and over and over. And I guess in theory it's going to happen no matter what you do in this game, because that's the difficulty of the game. And it's weird. It's too much, I think. You know, you just, sometimes you play the game and you're just running around and like rock creatures just show up. And they're these huge rock, they're like bosses. Not that bad. But I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, sometimes I think the difficulty is just too high. There is like freedom to do what you want, but the freedom isn't really like pushed. Unless you went into the game knowing there was the freedom of just go whichever way you want, you wouldn't know. Which, you know, is kind of dumb. Because the moment you talk to one person, the blimp goes to the next spot. And it's like, well, shit, I guess I'm going over there. So the only reason I went a different spot was because I was like, well, I want to see if it lets me. Because I was fair, and they'd probably be like, no, you gotta turn back. And no, it didn't. Which, I'm applauding Nintendo for that. Because I assumed that when they said it was open world, they didn't mean it was going to be like that. But it is. In weird ways, the game definitely draws from games like Skyrim, where you've got like a limited inventory space, you're wearing armor. Certain aspects of the game I'm not too fond of. The whole armor system, the whole every weapon breaks system. Why is that there? I mean, I get it. It's to make it harder. It's to make exploration more important. But at certain points, it's just frustrating. I have so many weapons in the game that I haven't even been using because I'm like, well, I gotta save these for bosses. So it's like, ooh, why not just, have it to where none of our shit breaks? If you were wondering, real quick, I meant to put this at the beginning, but the reason there's no footage on the screen is because, for one, I haven't recorded myself playing it, and 2, this isn't a real review, and 3, most importantly, Nintendo kind of gets flighty sometimes, and they just decide they're going to just start taking videos down or demonetizing them. So I figured, fuck all that, I'm just going to talk. So sorry if you guys want to see footage, you're more than welcome to just go to, I'll probably put it in the description, I might remember to, the Breath of the Wild stream we did, where we played for like 9 hours. So, but the weapons and shit breaking, not a fan of that. I'm really not. But there are certain elements where it's drawn from other games like that. In certain ways, like the radar and the mission selecting thing, kind of seems like Grand Theft Auto a little bit. Don't crucify me on that. I'm really not standing by that. The difficulty, definitely something related to Dark Souls. Not fun at points. You go in, you fight some bosses, and oh god, there's just no hope for you. Not a big fan of that myself. I was gonna make a video discussing easy mode, how important it is for video games, and lo and behold, Legend of Zelda decides, fuck easy mode, you're on hardcore all the time. So, guess Nintendo doesn't agree with me. For the most part, though, the game is really good. There's enough collectibles to where you want to go explore, but at the same point, that was something that irritated me. So, if you guys are watching this video, I'm assuming you know a little bit about the game. So, the Korok seeds. If you go the wrong way, and you're collecting Korok seeds, you don't see the guy you give Korok seeds to. So you don't get more whatever he gives you. You don't get what he gives you, basically. And it's frustrating. Because you're just sitting there, you're waiting, and you're like, I have all these Korok seeds, I keep needing what he gives me, and you're not getting it. Very frustrating. That's more to my point of the false sense of freedom the game gives you. There have been cool moments, for the most part. Now, I've seen other people go through the beginning part of the game, when you're actually going to Kakariko, and when I did it, because of the fact that I went a different path first, things were actually a little different for me. And I'm not going to go into too much detail, because for the love of God, guys, if you haven't played it, so this would be a spoiler for you, then just don't go down the beaten path. Go a different way. You're given the option to. So, for the love of God, just don't do it. But it was very cool. I'm glad they included it to do that. While on the flip side, I don't like how basically the game got harder for me because I chose to go down the less common path. Wasn't too big on that, but at the same point, I get it. I wonder if the desert area is harder if you don't do it right away. Now, I'm going to talk about shrines real fast. Basically, I think this game has pretty much just done away with dungeons. For the most part, there are dungeon-esque areas, and then there's dungeon-esque areas. You know, there's like the dungeons, there's dungeon-esque areas, and there's like these shrines that are down here. And they're basically like, there's just, I'm doing math in my head, and I'm thinking there's got to be at least 80 of them. There's got to be. I'm assuming there's more, but there's got to be at least 80. And basically, you know, you go into a shrine, and it's a little, like, puzzle, basically. You figure it out, you get through the puzzle, yay, you get stuff. You pretty much need to do it if you want to beat the game. And there's so many of them that really, you probably don't have to do them all. Just do a handful. And, man, they're kind of fun. You go into them sometimes, and you're like, how the fuck do I solve this? And when you solve it, it actually gives you a little bit sense of, I did good. And in that way, I think they've kind of kept a Legend of Zelda theme going, where, like, to the main part of the franchise, the Link to the Past-esque area, where, there is puzzle. There's a lot of puzzle. So it's like, yeah, when you're not in the shrines, it's not puzzle-based pretty much at all. But when you're in the shrines, it's very good. Very puzzly, so to speak. I'm a fan of that. I'm trying to think what else I should discuss real fast. The stamina wheel. I hated stamina in Skyward Sword. I hate stamina in video games, period. In my opinion, it's a fucking video game. Just let me keep running. But I get why they had to include it, due to the fact that if they don't include it, you can, in essence, just climb forever. And that's like half the game, honestly, is climbing. So I get why they included it, and I honestly think they've executed it very well. In Skyward Sword, it felt like something you just had to keep an eye on, and it just fucking sucked. One of the things I think really drew me out of Skyward Sword was the stamina system, where it was just like, hey, you want to keep running? Well, you gotta stop at some point. You gotta run to a green little orb to keep yourself going. That's fucking dumb. We all know it is. I don't care who you are, it's dumb. So the fact of the matter is, with them with them adjusting it the way they have, it's actually a lot better. And I really, I get irritated with the stamina system from time to time, but in Skyward Sword, I legitimately think it's one of the things that broke the game for me, where it just wasn't fun at points. So the fact that they've fixed it, good job, Nintendo. Good job. The main bosses, I think I've only fought one main boss, ridiculously hard. Ridiculously hard. So, yeah, if you enjoy hard video games, then, yeah, this is probably the Legend of Zelda game for you. Because the original Legend of Zelda and Zelda 2 were hard because of graphical limitations, basically it being old as hell. Breath of the Wild, very, very hard to the point where there are literally points where I gotta put this down, but here's what makes Breath of the Wild a good game. The fact of the matter is, I want to put the game down, but I can't. I sit there and I go, let me just complete one more shrine, and next thing I know, it's like 3, 4 a.m., and it happens. It'll happen a lot. The game actually is really good. It's addicting. It makes you want to keep playing. It really does. I'm sure you guys have heard this before. I haven't seen any other reviews of the game, because generally I don't watch reviews of games. This isn't really a review anyway, but my god, it is addicting. So is it the best Legend of Zelda game of all time? Yes and no. Because, by any stretch, Legend of Zelda 2, Breath of the Wild, oh god, Breath of the Wild smashes them down. It friggin' flurry attacks them with a fucking wind cleaver. They're gone, they fly off the map, it's done. Game over. When it comes to the rest of the franchise, it's better than a lot of the games. Like, off the top of my head, probably better than Link to the Past. Better than Majora's Mask. I don't know if I'd say it's better than Wind Waker. Don't know if I'd say it's better than Twilight Princess. Probably better than Twilight Princess, to be honest. So it's probably, the only game it's less than would probably be Ocarina of Time and Wind Waker. And even that is debatable. It really depends, for me, how playing it a second time goes. Do I have the urge to play through it again? I always have the urge to play through Ocarina of Time. It's the best game of all time, without doubt, in my opinion. Wind Waker, you watch somebody play it, the graphical style, the humor in the game, you want to keep playing. You want to play through it again just to see these characters again. Will Breath of the Wild be like that? I don't know. The characters, I think, really aren't that engrossing. So I'm kind of on the fence, at least on that. There really isn't that much humor, but there's fucking Beetle. Beetle's back. I'm wondering if the hookshot's in the game, because I haven't seen it. That's literally Legend of Zelda 101. But I guess, technically, it's the original Legend of Zelda, so it's not Legend of Zelda 101, it's Legend of Zelda 2.1, if that makes sense. I'm going to need to make a term for this, that way you guys understand what I'm saying next time. But is it the best Legend of Zelda game? By far, best of the first two in Breath of the Wild. Not even close. In terms of the actual franchise, I don't know yet, but it's definitely going to be the best game of this year. and it will not be close. Super Mario Odyssey might give it a run. Aside from that, I don't think it's going to be beat this year. That's just my thoughts. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. For the comment, feel free to comment what your opinions are on Breath of the Wild. Keep in mind, there might be people in the comment section who haven't played the game yet, so just try to keep things a little vague. Don't start throwing spoilers out there. If you're vague enough, but have enough detail, I should be able to understand what you're saying. But yeah. Also, let's throw a comment out there. Party like an eye. If you put that in the comment section, I know you watched the whole video, which means I'll respond. I'm going to respond to you either way. So, thank you for watching. Peace out. I'm Skillets.